Hello everyone, yet another IG live stream this week, and today I have Charlotte joining me from also studying an interior design, and today we're going to talk about IDI studies, how sketching is taught at universities and how essential this skill is, as well as many more other things that we're going to cover today. So Charlotte joined the chat, so she should be here in any second, and hopefully the connection should be good. Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Actually, this is the first time we see each other. So you can hear me well?
Yeah. How is my connection?
Yeah, yours is perfect, and the video is perfect. So it's all great.
Oh, good.
Great. Perfect. I think maybe I already introduced you to everyone who will be joining and who's already watching us. So I think maybe we will start in the usual way. So I think maybe I will ask you questions first because I know it's your first time, and I've got lots to ask you, and I'm really interested to sort of get to know you, your experience with your current studies and just in general. So so my first question to you is what inspired you initially to start studying interior design? And I know that you're currently completing your BA honors degree at Solent University, and what made you choose this specific university to study?
Yeah. So I was looking at interior design courses kind of in like the south of England. And I was drawn to Solent because they offer two different kinds of courses. So they do an interior design course, but they also do an interior design decoration course. So I was interested to go to their open day to find out like what the difference actually was. I think with the interior design course, it's more technical. I'm on the other one, and they cover like styling, surface pattern, and also interior design. And it's more like decorative based rather than the other course, which is more technical. So I think that's why I chose Solent, because of the location. It's in Southampton, but also it seemed like more of a creative course opposed to some of the other ones which I had seen. At the time, I really wasn't like sure I would be very good at doing like the software, and I'd come from like doing art courses prior to wanting to do a degree. So yeah, I felt like this course was maybe a little better suited to me than other ones that I had looked at.
Oh, nice. And did you have to submit a portfolio, right? To
Yeah.
So it was like, did they test you on like your sketching skills, or what did they actually focus on when you was like submitting your portfolio?
Yeah, so I hadn't actually done anything interior design based prior to doing this course. So mostly all of the stuff which I submitted would have been from my art GCSE and A level that I was doing. So it like consisted a lot of drawing, but I also like doing a lot of acrylic painting. So I had a few.
I did that too, yeah. So
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about here. Yeah. So they didn't expect you to have any, like technical drawings of interiors. It was more like to get to see your actual artworks where you have done.
Like, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of girls on my course, they didn't just do art, they did like textiles. There's a few of them that did like upholstery. I think it depended. I think if you'd come from a creative background of some sort, you'd just be expected to put together like a little portfolio just to do at the interview, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool, actually. I mean, I was researching a few universities who do like BA honors in interior design. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually don't think there's many universities that offer like interior design as a bachelor, like as an actual degree. There's a lot of like online studies, and you probably like institutions that do that. But it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Right. When I was looking, there was a couple of courses, but I know that like the actual course sizes, you tend to only get like maybe 20 to 30 people on them. I think on the one that I'm on at the minute, there's about 18 of us.
Oh, really?
They are really little. So yeah, you're right. There's a few other universities that do interior design degrees, but yeah, the amount of people actually going on to them is quite limited.
See, that actually leads me to my second question to you about, is it your first degree or your second one?
Yeah, no, this is my first degree.
Okay.
From sixth form, and then decided to go and do a degree.
That's really interesting because I know, I mean, most of my students who join my courses are doing interior design actually as their like second career, like they just doing this career change, and it's actually so interesting to see people who actually straight away do what they love, if that makes sense. They apply to university they want to go to, rather than just do some, I don't know, practical degree, get a job for 20 years and then make a decision that actually I want to do something more creative. And it's quite, that's another reason actually why I wanted to also have a chat with you, because it's very interesting to get your perspective from you, because you're studying your first degree and you chose to do it. And I think it's really cool, to be honest. I think it's a great career, and of course it depends how much you put into it, right? I mean, it's all up to you, but I think it's very cool that you're doing it as your first and
a lot of girls on my course at the minute, we're all in like the same situation where it is our first degree. We've all chosen to go into a course like this. I did spend one term in another place, and I found that there was actually a few like people that had done other careers before and come onto it. So, I mean, it is a bit of a mix, but on the one that I'm on at the minute, everyone's kind of just come from like a sixth form or a college and gone straight into doing this kind of course.
Yeah, I on Instagram as well, that's how I came across you too. I was actually researching like students at Solent University. I mean, like portfolios look so good, like when I click the profiles, it's actually so interesting, because what you are doing, guys, does differ to, let's say, I don't know, some people who are doing it online maybe, or doing it as a second degree, or doing sort of like an additional diploma or HND. I think there's an HNC as well. There's like different kind of certificates and diplomas that you get. And everyone has such different like portfolios. It's actually interesting because some of them are very like digital focused, and there's some that are sketching focused, and you got lots of hand renders, and there's a mix between the two, like collages and so on. It's actually quite cool. I'm actually starting to distinguish like Solent University students from others as well, because I'm seeing some sort of similarities, but I don't understand exactly what they are. But it does, like, I mean, the profiles look really cool.
Work is quite hard.
Yeah, I know, and I guess it's not the question that I included, but do you have to create like a student account on Instagram when you join like a degree, or it's just your choice and you just want to share your experience?
No, that's interesting. So I think a lot of this before, we can see other interior designers, so there's a presence on social media, especially Instagram, to set up accounts like this. But in my second year, which I've just completed, in the first term we actually had a module which was called professional promotion, where we were encouraged to set up our own websites, social media platforms, and like basically just kind of start getting out there and making connections. So people in my course that wouldn't have already had social media specifically for interior design now have, and I think that's why when you, like, for example, if you follow me and then you look at who I follow, you can quite easily distinguish all of the other Solent interior designers, because we all have it like in our bios and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily like something that we had to do prior to the course, but it's been encouraged since that we have been on it.
I mean, to be honest, I get that quite often. I mean, I ask pretty much, every student that I have as well, if they have to create like a profile, and each of them just really want to, create and share their journeys. And I think that's really cool, sharing and being out there. It's like an online portfolio, to be honest. I think there's so much that's happening on Instagram, and you can get so much out of it. It is just incredible. And another question that I wanted to ask you, I think I'll ask my last one and then maybe we can alternate. In your opinion, what difference do you think there is between like an HND, HNC, a BA honors? Like, how do you see the differences between?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because really I'm only coming from my BA honours degree kind of perspective. I don't know a lot about the different kinds of courses and the levels and all of that. But I suppose with a degree, you're like, you pick a subject and then you kind of adapt and evolve your knowledge, and it like gives you a very specified skill set, especially with like an interior design degree. However, I suppose if you're on like an online course or, you know, whatever kind of like level it is that you do, I suppose you are still learning those kind of skills, but I couldn't really tell you the difference between them all.
I see.
They must all be slightly different, but
yeah, indeed. I mean, I'm still confused, to be honest, between all these, but I know, oh, again, coming from experience with my students as well, I mean, most of them are doing HNC or HNDs usually. Maybe some other too, but these are the names that I keep hearing, you know. And some of them who really want to take it to the next level, they sort of like upgrade to a BA, and I think you can get into a BA with like an HND or something, and you can go like second year or
prior to the degree then maybe.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I was reading on a Solent University website that they do accept students and they can join on year 2 if they have an HND or something like that. So it's quite interesting to.
Yeah, it's probably because on whatever course that is, it's already like kind of specific to interior design. So they probably have learned, I'm assuming, technical drawing and like just the basics of the skills that you'll need to then progress maybe onto like year 2 of a BA course.
Yeah, that makes sense. And would you say it's a quite intense like studying, would you say? Or
yeah, I think when I was looking at the open days, I think when looking at the Solent course, I knew it was going to be very intense, because they showed you like the year 3 work on the open day, and you just think in 3 years time I'm going to be able to actually produce work of this level, and it really isn't a long time to learn all of these skills. So yeah, I knew it was going to be really intense, and they do push you hard, but it really does pay off, and I'm so glad that I have actually done a course like this, because I am really enjoying it.
That's amazing, to be honest. It's so nice to hear. No, really, seriously, it is to see people, you know, really following what they love to do and mostly enjoying it as well. Should we alternate? I mean, I can continue.
I can give you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So regarding your business, what inspired you to start it up, and was it something which you knew that you would want to do?
Yeah, that's a question that I get asked actually quite often.
Yeah.
And I love answering this question as well, to be honest. So I think I always wanted to have a business, like since, I don't know, maybe like 12 or so, maybe 13. When you get when I got to my like teenager times, I was kind of like dreaming about being a boss, and you know, I wasn't sure if I would have like I would build something by myself, or whether I would just like come in as a, I don't know, a CEO or something. But I always wanted to be like top level kind of like, you know, person.
Yeah.
Having a business was something that I really, really wanted. And I think when I reached 14, I realized that I'm really into arts, and I'm really into like fashion, and I just like everything visual. So I kind of started to head that way. So again, I took my A-levels, as I told you, as well, in art and design, in textiles, photography. So I basically picked all the humanities subjects that you can possibly imagine. And then I did a degree in art history, actually. And I studied at Goldsmiths University in London. I didn't really enjoy my degree, to be honest, but that's another story. And I think what inspired me to start my business was, I think, especially after graduating, I thought, you know, okay, now I have a degree and I can't get a job of my dreams. Like, I was applying to different jobs and I wasn't being accepted anywhere. And it's like, I'm just trying so hard for like a job that pays 23 grand a year, which doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like, why do I have to try and find a job of my dreams where I can build it myself, where I don't have to work in some sort of a museum, you know, work my way up? It was like just ridiculous, like the salaries that the art industry offers.
Yeah.
It's,
So when you were looking for a job that was connected to the degree that you'd done?
yeah, I didn't want to do curation, but I was sort of like looking at jobs in museums. I was looking at visual merchandising. I was like really into kind of like fashion and decoration. I really wanted to do actually a fashion degree, but I changed because I thought it's too hard. And then I did an art history degree, which was equally hard. But
Yeah.
in terms of opportunities, I mean. And yeah, so I think that kind of like feeling of unfairness, if that makes sense, you know, that you like have to, you know, try and find a job which barely pays for what you actually want to have in life. You know, when I started to think, okay, how can I monetize what I can do? You know, how can I monetize my skills, my social skills, as well as my actual technical skills? And, you know, I always wanted to do something related to either, you know, art or making, craftsmanship, something like that. And I just started doing workshops. I was in London back then. I lived in central London, and that was just a bit more than 2.5 years ago. And I started doing like different face-to-face workshops, and then I started contacting like offices and co-working spaces and lots of different spaces to like host workshops for their you know, people who work there and so on. So like every opportunity that I had was because I reached out to people. No one had invited me to, you know, go and do it. Like even workshops, I don't know if you know a shop called Cass Art. Yeah, I did workshops there. I did workshops for a year across different Cass Art stores in London, at least 3. And yeah, I reached out to them myself. I just went
with like a foundation for you to like get out there and
exactly. And it's been, to be honest, very rewarding in the sense that it has given me like, you know, confidence. And we know what happened then, you know, COVID hit and I had to transfer everything online. And I started teaching workshops on Zoom, and I saw a lot of interest in architecture and interiors. And I also had to take up a few courses as well myself to learn how to do it properly, because of course I have a background, but still, even if you're an artist and you're drawing, I don't know, like flowers, it doesn't mean that you can do architecture, you know. So I had to learn myself how to do it too, but I was always interested in it as well. So and I started doing it on Zoom, and then I opened an academy because I realized that, you know, teaching on Zoom isn't like amazing because the quality is bad. And I just decided to create a platform and yeah, basically start recording courses in much better quality.
Okay.
BehindCanvas Academy was born, basically.
So are you now like continue doing it kind of over online and doing it this way?
Yeah, I think for now, yes. So basically, me and my husband have made a decision to leave London 7 months ago, because we just got really tired of the lockdown and all of this, you know, and I really wanted to get some sun and just travel and, you know, just I basically got fed up with paying the incredible rent in London and not have a life, basically. It's probably different where you are, of course, but in London it's ridiculous prices, which you probably are aware of. And yeah, so we basically left in January, and for now it's online. Yes, because we are remote, we're working remotely, so for now it's like this. But I would absolutely love, you know, to do workshops across the world, you know. If companies invite me, and or if I find someone, you know, somewhere where I want to do it, yeah, I'll be more than happy to come and to teach, because I've got all of my equipment, you know. I travel with everything. So
another one of my questions. I saw on your website that you had been offered to teach your workshops abroad in like Dubai and Brisbane. So is that something that you would like to continue with? Like, obviously, with restrictions allowing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the more I can visit and you know, spread, you know, my passion and to teach people as well how to do it, it would be amazing, to be honest. I'm really open for that. And I know that there are so many people out there who can't sketch and they don't even know that it's possible to learn it. you know, as a separate like niche, because it's very niche, right? Interior sketching is quite niche. And pretty much every single student that joins says, oh my God, you know, I'm so happy that I found you, or I'm so happy that you found me. They didn't even know such niche exists, you know? So it was quite interesting for me, because I was kind of discovering this niche as well. You know, when I started, it's not like I'm a professional with 15 years of experience. You know, I kind of had to discover things myself, and it was quite interesting to hear feedback from people. Yeah, just about interior sketching in general.
Yeah, I think with like sketching, although like a lot of there's a lot of like modeling software out there, it's one of those processes which really allows you to just kind of be quite free with how your designs like come into you. You can just get like a pencil or something, and if you have this idea, it's really quick just to like note it down on a piece of paper, and then, you know, as it then progresses, you can kind of refine that drawing, and then
Yeah.
your idea actually set down, and you kind of know what direction you're going to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also really cool to be able to mix like both skills, like digital and your technical hand rendering skills. Because, for instance, you can maybe create, I don't know, a floor plan on AutoCAD, and then you can print it off and actually hand render it. You know, it looks much nicer than if you're doing it just on AutoCAD. You know what I mean? Like, sort of combining your skills. I think it's really cool. And I keep talking about it as well. I don't understand people who are limiting themselves to like a specific skill sets. They think, okay, I just need this and this to tick the box. But, you know, actually, no, you need to be outside of the box. You know, you need to know how to do more things. And I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know, but trying to sort of spread to people. And yeah.
So with like the students that kind of enroll in your courses, are they of like a mixed ability with drawing? Do some of them come to you with like not very much experience, and are others quite confident and just need like a refresher?
To be perfectly honest, mostly like 99% of my students are complete beginners. Like they haven't sketched at all, or maybe they did an art sort of like subject like years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and they've never sketched since. So usually these are types of people that I get. I do have courses like are more advanced, and to be honest, I would absolutely love to create more advanced courses, but I just don't see people like, you know, wanting to do it, because I get a lot of responses saying like, oh, you know, I can sketch already. Thank you so much for your offer. And fair enough, I understand it, but do you really think you know you know what I mean? Like maybe that you still need to work on, and maybe there is something that you would like to learn. But I think people, once they know how to do maybe a specific thing, they think, okay, you know what, I'm not going to develop. I mean, to be honest, like I enroll onto courses all the time, and I sketch professionally, and I enroll constantly. Like I love exploring different courses. I love seeing how people teach. I love learning new, and I always learn new things. Like I've done at least 3 interior sketching courses, at least that, if not more. And that's considering that I have a business in interior sketching, you know, and I still do it. I enroll and I want to learn how to sketch on iPad. I think that was another of your questions you asked, if I want to learn anything else as well. And yeah, I really, really want to learn how to sketch interiors on iPad as well. It's been going
I was wondering, because obviously you see it quite a lot now with like softwares like Procreate coming about, lots of like iPad sketching. It's very, very different to like, you know, the traditional techniques of sketching, like just with like pen and pencil. So is that something that you're trying to teach yourself and then maybe incorporate into your own courses that you do?
I would love to, but I really need to get confident in it. At the moment, I'm not. Like I'm very basic in Procreate. Like I can do some. I mean, I correct my student sketches in Procreate. This is how I do it. But I can't actually create like amazing art pieces, you know, on Procreate. It's not something that I'm confident with doing at the moment. And I'm learning, but you know, having a business plus I also work on a side as well still, like one day a week, so I don't have like that much time to actually just sit and learn something else, but I still find time, you know, I try to find time. And
I think the thing with drawing, it is like very much practice makes perfect. Like you have to be very consistent at it, otherwise you can like lose yourself quite quickly.
100%. Like if I don't do, like I've enrolled onto a course almost a year ago and I haven't completed it. Like, you know, it's still like waiting for me. I've done 5 lessons out of 46 lessons. So 41 to go. And each of the lessons takes me like 5 hours to complete because obviously I'm so slow. I don't understand what I'm doing. And yeah, but I'm enjoying it. But, you know, it's not something, sometimes I'm actually frustrated, to be honest, because it's like taking so much time. But I'm kind of like pushing myself to do it. So yeah, I would absolutely love to learn as much as I can.
Yeah, I think digital drawing isn't something that I've like had to go at myself. I've done like a little bit on Illustrator, and that's very limited and thing. But just seeing like the types of drawings that can actually be produced from it, it does make it have a go. But you're exactly right. It's finding the time to actually be able to really have a good go at it and then kind of learn that skill, because it's just very different to what kind of like what I've done before.
100%. Yeah, I agree with you here. Like I look at pictures and literally like I'm crying because I can't do it. and then I open the lesson and I'm like, no, not today, tomorrow. Yeah, it's the same. I bought the course, but I haven't completed it. So yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only downside of it. And actually, another of the questions that I wanted to ask you as well, since we started talking about like skills and everything, I wanted to find out what sort of like modules and like assignments do you have at the moment? Like what kind of topics? Yeah, are they teaching you?
So because of my course being interior design decoration, I was aware coming into it that it's not just going to be interior design. It focuses around styling projects as well as surface designing, which would be for anything from like wallpapers to tiles or like floor coverings. It's quite versatile in that sense. But then also they do incorporate modules which are like specific to interior design, where we'll be doing like residential as well as commercial projects.
Yeah.
So it's really broad, which is good because you're not like, I think interior design anyway is quite a broad subject area. You know, the industry is like very, very, very broad. But the fact that I'm learning how to do like photography and styling, which could then maybe transcend into like, I don't know, styling interiors for like a magazine. That's like a different area I hadn't even considered beforehand. And I think coming from an artistic background, I absolutely love creating wallpaper designs. Perhaps if I'd just done like a traditional interior design degree, I may not have actually realised how much I love doing it in this sense and may want to pursue that. But then I also love doing the actual interior design as well. So I'm actually finding every aspect of the course very enjoyable. So I think next year I'm going into my final year, and that's when I'll kind of start to narrow it down a little bit and maybe know a little bit more what I'd like to do. But yeah.
Oh, that's actually, yes, it's your final year. Do you have to specialize in like specific field or not really? Still like covering pretty much different things?
I think the first term we definitely have a styling unit and an interior design unit, and then a dissertation which will be about like anything you want to research. But then in the second term we have like the full term just to focus on a project of our choice. So that kind of, where you'd make it a little bit more specific to what you want to do. So you can do styling, you could do surface design, you could do interior design, you could do a combination. It's really up to you.
Oh, cool. And you have to do like 8 to 10,000 word dissertation as well for
dissertation.
I hated doing that when I studied my degree, but
no, well, I'm unfortunately isolating at the minute because my sister's got coronavirus, so it's given me a few days to actually really crack on with some research.
I see. Oh wow. Well, in any case, I'm wishing you all of the best luck with the dissertation. If you're in the degree, I'm sure the dissertation will also be very enjoyable, you know.
It's just like one of those things getting started. Once I'm actually there, I'll probably start enjoying it, but
absolutely,
it's just getting on with the research.
Yeah, I know the research is the most. I mean, I personally hate researching. I mean, I really like. I'm a very practical person, so I get straight to the point, you know. But I know, I mean, research is a very, very important aspect as well. And yeah, in any case, it's an interesting experience for sure. And I also wanted to ask about sketching, since obviously we're speaking about interior design and sketching. Is sketching taught at your university as well as a skill, or is something that they expect you to already know, you know, when you when you enroll into a degree?
In our first year, the first module that we had to do was a sketching module, and it was focusing on technical drawing. So we started to learn how to do perspectives and axonometrics, which was completely new to like many of us. It's like it is quite technical in comparison to other types of sketching that we've done before. But we also did lots of observational drawings and started to learn how to render. So although a lot of our final outcomes are kind of put through softwares and modeling programs, the actual design process, we are encouraged to keep up with the sketching.
I see. Okay. And you said that the first module was sketching. Would you say it was quite in-depth, kind of like courses that they gave you? I
think, I mean, I know I don't think I've done so much drawing in like such a short amount of time. Like it was, you had to fill like this big sketchbook, and it had a lot of different kinds of styles and techniques that had to be completed for it. But we were also balancing other modules on top of this, so it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was that in depth because there was a lot going on, but it did cover like a good basis, and I think it set us up, especially in like now second year going into third year, knowing how to do technical floor plans, know how to do a good perspective drawing. It does just help with the design process now.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, that's really cool. And the you said it was like the very first thing that you've been like focusing on. Was it for a quite like long time, or it was like maybe a few weeks or months? How did they structure it?
I think we ended up handing it in like beginning of November, so I think it was only like a month or two. It wasn't very.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a short like introduction to the course, and just getting used to like using a pencil again after summer and things like that.
Yeah, no, of course. And it's like technical drawing. I mean, I did art and design, but we haven't done any technical drawing whatsoever. So as I said, I had to learn it too, you know. And yeah, I mean, I also offer courses on axonometric sketching, axonometric drawings and perspectives and floor plans and elevations, and also topics for that as well. So,
but to be fair, axonometrics are like, they're quite difficult to get my head around, so that's something which I'm still like even now practicing on, because it's one of those drawing techniques which I'm just not as good at, not as confident.
Yeah, because it looks a bit like, to be honest, like my course, I mean, a lot of people who completed my course, they said it's actually quite easy. And, yeah, I mean, the way I sort of break it down. But I at first, me too, like I thought, what the hell, like axonometric sketches look awful. But yeah, then I sort of, to be honest, I was quite good at it after a very short time. So yeah, it's quite an interesting sort of view to have, you know, when you're sketching interiors, and like, because it looks like 3D, right? As if you can skin around.
You like visualize your floor plan in a completely different way. It is really interesting. I think I just prefer the perspective drawing out of the two.
I think a lot of people prefer perspective drawings for sure. And yeah, that's very interesting to know. And actually, my last question was about sketching, and if you're planning to offer hand sketches in your interior design package when you graduate. I know maybe it's something that you haven't really thought about yet, but for instance, when I am promoting my courses, I talk a lot about, you know, how to sketch quickly and how to sketch in front of your clients, and how to offer that like quick conceptual visualizations of your ideas like there and now. You know what I mean? Like when you're sitting with your client in a meeting, and you can sketch very quickly and show them what you basically mean. So is it something that you want to also offer to your clients in the future?
So this is an interesting question, because I would say I'm relatively a confident drawer. But I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So if I'm going to sit down and do I take my time.
Yeah.
I like to get it right. But I can see how, if you have people in front of you and you want to communicate your ideas, drawing in a quick sketch like that would actually be a good way of like presenting what your design and everything. I think I'd need a bit of practice before feeling comfortable being able to do that in front of people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because it's just not something which I've ever done really. But I think if I was to like curate a portfolio of my work, I definitely would include some of my drawings and sketches in it, because it's just another way of showing another skill set, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I would love to see your sketches as well. I mean, I scrolled through your feed, but I haven't like really
I
specific.
haven't really posted any, but I was thinking this because when you contacted me, I was like, I don't know why I haven't posted any of my drawings, because it would be good for my feed.
No, definitely. And I think that's, I mean, when I usually reach out as well to like people like you, I assume that you don't know how to do it because you don't post it. And every time someone says, oh, I can draw. And I'm like, why are you not including your sketch in your profile? Like it would look amazing, you know what? So, I mean, again, I think that comes with confidence, as you said, because you don't be in front of people now, you don't feel comfortable posting it. Which I think you should definitely overcome, because it's seriously like people love seeing hand renders, like love, and I'm sure yours are very good. If you come from an artistic background, I'm sure your drawings are good. So trust me, you can inspire a lot of people. For sure.
We just did a module which was a pop-up module, and we had to create these surface designs and also the shop and all the elevations and all of that. And there wasn't really, like, in the requirements for the hand-in, you didn't have to do it on a digital platform. You could actually present it however you like. So if you wanted to do a sketch or a set of drawings, that would be perfectly fine for the submission. So I think it shows that not everything on this course has to be digital. You can, drawing is still very essential to like the creative process, and if you feel like confident in presenting your ideas in that way, then by no means do you have to do it digitally. You can do it how you like.
100%. And I actually know people who done that, who actually submitted only hand renders, only sketches during studies. And and I know these people sketch amazingly. They're really good because they're constantly practicing, they're constantly submitting sketches for that, and I actually know people like that. So 100%. Like I hear that quite often, that you're not supposed to constantly submit only digital work, or you can do either, or you can do one or the other. And it's completely depends up to you. I mean, I have clients sometimes asking me to sketch for them, like for sketching commissions. I get like orders, and I know people who are ordering, for instance, who can't even like visualize it neither on paper, neither using a digital software. So they need me to be able to do it. And sometimes it's quite hard to understand what exactly they need, because they obviously can't translate their ideas
into you, and you have to try and put it together. I can
imagine. You have to ask the questions, you have to ask for visuals, you have to ask for as much information as you can. But it's quite interesting, because there's need for that. People do need people, for instance, like you, like me, to visualize their ideas and to help them, because interior designers without any skill sets whatsoever, I mean, of course they are qualified, but they might not be comfortable using either paper or a computer. They outsource the work to someone else, or so it's quite interesting that it just depends. There's so many different approaches out there. So it's a very interesting niche, interior design in general.
With like the courses that you design, how do you kind of figure out the needs of the people enrolling in your course?
That's actually a very thoughtful question from you. As I already said to you, like I had to discover this specific like field, and to be honest, I would say that 90% of my courses have been done because I asked my clients what they need.
Yeah.
That you want to learn. Can you explain, what you need for your assignments or whatever? It was like kind of like through experience,
Yeah.
Of course, all of the topics that I choose, like for instance, like I've created a course based on Sex and the City, where I sketched out a floor plan of Carrie Bradshaw's apartment, and I also done a similar thing with Friends. Union, where I showed how to sketch Monica's apartment in scale and how to apply shadows and how to make your sketches look more in depth. And of course, I design my own courses.
Yeah.
But I always ask my students, what do they need? What would help you? So I'm constantly asking for feedback from my clients. So I think this would be like the this is how I would answer the question, basically.
Yeah. Getting like their personal responses. Have you found that by relating it to a well-known TV show that people can like visualize the rooms, does that actually help in people to like relate to what they're drawing?
That's very interesting. To be honest, I don't really know. I think that most of people who enroll even on these theme-based courses are still enrolling because they actually want to learn the specific like technical skill that I'm teaching in that course, like how to hand render floor plans. They don't really care if it's Carrie Bradshaw or whoever, but I think when they are in the process and when they complete the work, they think, wow, this actually looks like, like her apartment, or this actually looks like Friends. You know what I mean? So I think it depends. It's a really interesting question because I would love to ask my students that enroll because you like the series or because you actually want to learn the skill. I think it's because they want to learn the skill, and for some it's both.
And like at the end they can see how their drawings and how accurate it is. So actually it's almost like they've drawn a design that is actually already like an interior. It is quite an interesting.
And I was supposed to be releasing a new course on Saturday, but I decided to postpone it because it's summer and I see there's not much activity going on at the moment. So I think I'm going to do it in September. But this one is about axonometric drawing of Devil Wears Prada, like Miranda Priestley's office.
Okay, yeah.
I'm basing it on a theme as well because I personally love Devil Wears Prada and I wanted to create something related to that. So you're basically learning both, like a skill plus you're doing something fun because
that's it. I think having these series, like I don't know, as a topic for the drawing actually seems to be working quite well because I think people can just relate to it. It does make it a bit more fun than just having to do ordinary room.
100%. So I hope that my students like the idea of me doing like a theme-based courses. I mean, I ask for feedback from people and usually they say, it's really fun and useful at the same time. You're kind of doing both things together. But if I was to answer the question, what's my popular course, I would say it would be perspective. It would be more like technical essentials that people need. I would love people to enroll onto, like my floor plans course more and onto my Friends inspired course more. But maybe it's just like at the moment, this is the time, who knows, maybe in autumn, everyone will start enrolling and, onto all sort of different courses. But for instance, like I released the Victorian bedrooms course and I really thought it would be popular and it's not at all. And I think the reason for that is because it's like maybe a period interiors and people are not really interested in that. You know what I mean? Even though initially when I was creating it, I really thought it would be received really well. And sometimes you think it's not actually what people need.
Exactly. So I think at the end of the day, as we have discussed, it is about like having the time. So you kind of have to think what would be more beneficial to me. Maybe perspective drawing over, as you said, your Victorian period drawings.
Yeah, exactly. So
people find it more necessary to them, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. 100%.
So with your drawings, do you carry like a visual diary to like sketch as you go, or are you more focused on like just remaining like quite interior and architectural?
I'm everything. Like I sketch architecture, I sketch landscapes, I do all sort of things. But if you was to ask me what I like more, it would be definitely interiors. And because I just think it's a quite interesting process. I mean, it's very different to sketching, I don't know, like a portrait or a fashion illustration. I mean, I love fashion illustrations, but I get more satisfaction from creating a room
Yeah,
space really like I'm inspired by, using the furniture that I'm inspired by. Uh, Even though before I loved doing fashion illustrations because I'm inspired by clothes as well, so it kind of depends. But yeah, I always carry like a sketchbook if I'm going to the beach or somewhere, when I have
yeah,
time. I just love to sit and like doodle something, very quickly. And I do it like literally using a pen. I don't carry every single marker that I have, or watercolors or whatever. But yeah, I just like sketch with a pen, and then if I like the sketch, I come home and I add some color, whatever.
yeah. This is
So
what I encourage to do a lot on my course. Like, if you go out and about and like you see something interesting, like you're visiting an art museum or something, for example, to take like a piece of paper and a pen and just capture what you see, even if it's like 5-10 minute sketch. Then when you come away from it and you're back home, you can then go in with other kinds of media and improve on it if you'd like to. But it's just like being able to capture it in the moment and just be a bit more free with your sketching. It is quite beneficial in just like improving that skill.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think so many people would love to learn how to like sketch on the go, like travel sketching, or just in general. Like people love art, but there's just like so little confidence in people to actually enroll into courses and try and learn something, because they think, oh, I can't draw, whatever, I'm not even gonna start. I love art, but I'm not going to do anything about, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, this is what I'm trying to change. I'm really trying to like kind of extend these boundaries that people seem to put on themselves all the time. It's quite philosophical, but it's kind of like my aim
yeah,
to show people that you are the ones who are limiting yourselves. It's no one else. It's just you who are putting yourself in these like brackets that I can't draw, I can't do it, or whatever, so I'm not even gonna start. And that's another reason why I do like these short and simple courses, where you don't have to buy like a bundle straight away and pay £100 or whatever, and do it within a year, but actually can do it one by one, and not many interior sketching academies actually offer that. Usually interior sketching academies offer bundles, like you enroll for £150 and you've got like, I don't know, 20 lessons there, and you have to complete them within a year or something. But I decided to go the other way, and I decided to offer people one by one. So you're doing like at first come first, whatever you need basically
yeah,
complete. And of course, if you want to progress, then you have to do as many courses as you can. And I'm kind of trying to guide people through it. And there's just so many nuances as well. And like when you're running a business as well. And I thought I'm just going to create lots of courses in interior sketching. People will know what they need to do. But actually, no, you need to guide people,
yeah.
throughout the journey, and to show them where to start from, where you're gonna be, where your finish line is, and so on. So it's quite it's an experience, every day. Like I learn something new from what I'm doing, so it's quite interesting.
So how do you like your courses work? Do you like other students expected to like complete like a set amount of drawings? Is it more just like looking at their first drawing and then seeing how it progresses by the end? Like how do you kind of evaluate their journey?
From the very first course, people are able to produce a complete sketch. So it's not something like they just dribble down and it looks like something unrecognizable. No,
Yeah,
they see that they produce an actual sketch, an actual piece of artwork, if you like, where they understand how to use, for instance, perspective. Like, for instance, the very first course that you have to complete if you're a beginner is how to sketch interiors in one-point perspective. So by the end of this course, they've got 3 sketches that they produced. The first one of a bedroom, the second one of a bathroom, and the third one of the same bedroom but in a different angle. It's still like one point, but using like different angles, when you're turning the bed and you're turning the whatever bedside table. So after this first course, they already know how to apply 1 point perspective.
Yeah.
And they start applying it in their sketches. Like, there's just so often that people, from just completing one course, they're able to even submit proper sketches for their assignments, and they don't even have to do any other courses. It just depends. Some people just really like to continue. They want to learn how to do 2-point as well, and they want to learn how to do different angles, axonometric, whatever, and they want to enhance and become better, or how to sketch quickly. I've got a course on how to hand render quickly as well, where within 4 hours you're producing 4 sketches. Actually, even less, 3.5 hours, and you're producing 4 sketches. So like, it's below an hour techniques that I'm showing them how to use. And of course, the more you sketch, the quicker you get. It's not like you are quick straight away, but if you progress, what maybe took you 2 hours before now takes you 1 hour.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, and it decreases each time. But I think people just really like to learn something quickly, and effortlessly, and they think, oh, I'm going to become a master of sketching after one course. But to be honest, I never had negative feedback for my courses. I mean, touch wood.
Yeah.
No one has ever told me that, oh, I haven't learned anything, or, oh my God, I spent so much money. Like, I offer a 2-week money back guarantee. People are unsatisfied. Like, no one used that before.
Oh, so so clearly the courses that you are providing, you're covering things people are actually finding really useful. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah. I want to help people. I don't want to just, do it for me, because if I was doing it for me, I would probably create a bit different courses. I would go really in depth, and I would spend more time. But I'm creating like short and simple courses for people where they can see results.
So that by the end of it, they can understand how to do that type of technical drawing, and that is kind of the aim of it, isn't it? Like, your course is wanting to learn a new skill, so to be able to actually complete that in like a matter of hours, it's really impressive, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, I hope I will hopefully will continue in the same manner. But sometimes it strikes me actually to realize that there's just so many people that really want to try, but for some reason they don't. And like, I keep persuading them to try out, and I give them all these kind of things like money back, and you get access for 6 months, and you can watch it a limited amount of times, and you don't have to buy a bundle. You just like buy one course, which costs like £32, and like, you can complete it within 6 months if you need to. You know what I mean? Like, you can spend as much time as you want to. And sometimes it strikes me to think that, like, I literally never had negative feedback, and sometimes I really want to like speak about it even more so people like trust me. But I understand that with every buyer, with every customer, there's a different thing that I need to kind of like take into consideration. But in general, these kind of emotional like blocks that people put on themselves is probably the thing that I struggle with as a business owner, to persuade people to actually sign up.
Yeah.
That's the most difficult part. Once they sign up, they love it, they come back, they enjoy it, but
it's like, getting them over that hurdle.
Yeah.
Just giving it a go. How did it work when you were doing it, like your physical workshops then? Was it like you'd be doing it for a day, and you teach a skill to like a room, and then they all produce?
When I was teaching face-to-face, I was primarily I did a few perspective courses, but to be honest, I haven't had enough time to actually go into interiors because COVID hit. And something that I plan to do, like, I wanted to start to teach people how to like draw bedrooms and bathrooms, whatever, because like before I was just doing like architecture, like urban sketching, and a bit of perspective. So if you ask how I was teaching back then, it would be more like I am printing out like specific images that they choose. They can choose whatever image they want to do. I'm showing them, for instance, how to use pen, how to apply what to color. But it's not like I'm sitting there producing a piece and they're copying it. It's not like it is now, because with my courses online, I've got a camera overhead.
Yeah, it's probably a bit easier this way.
easier because they can see how I am doing it and they can copy that, or they can add their own elements if you want. But with the workshop, it was more like they are doing it and I'm just like helping them out, and I'm just setting the mood, you know, like I bring the materials, I speak about the topic, and do a little like demonstration, but it's mostly just helping them out. So for instance, they're struggling with something, I'm coming over and I'm helping them how to do it. This is the thing that I can't do now because we don't have any face-to-face events anymore. Well, at least now. And I think this is something maybe that people would need. But again, based on the feedback that I've been receiving, people seem to understand everything what I'm saying, and they're able to produce actual complete pieces without me coming over and helping them.
Okay, so in a way, COVID has, in a way, been slightly positive in altering that you've been teaching before, and now you're going on with this new format, and it seems to be working really well for you. And you're
Reason why I chose it as well, because I'm that kind of a person who, just because something happens, I'm not going to stop. Like, I will find a solution how to go around it. So I found a solution. And if you ask me, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, I would dream of opening a studio in central London. Now I have an online academy. You know, things just change.
Change. I feel with my course this year, it's been so hard having to do everything online, learning new software programs from home, completely remote. It's been a challenge, but it's just showing that, you know, when you're faced with like a different scenario, being able to like overcome it.
Yeah.
You know, you feel quite proud by the end of it to actually, you know, you can still like move forward and progress. It doesn't have to be something that just stops you in your tracks.
No, I actually think it's personal development. Like, it's you as a person. When you overcome specific obstacles, you believe in yourself much more. You know, it's true. Like, I step out of my comfort zone all the time, you know, and now I don't have a comfort zone. Like, you know, I'm traveling from place to place. I'm, you know, I actually feel quite comfortable doing it, you know, and even before I was very like structured. I need to have a plan, you know. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm working every day, you know, and I'm doing my best. But if something is not working out, okay, fair enough, you know, it's life, you know. You
else will then fall into place, I'm sure. So
yeah, definitely. I'm just a little bit cautious about the time because we've got 3 minutes left. And because the live stream can only be 1 hour, if you want to save it and like post it, it has to be below an hour. So I think we have a few more minutes. If anyone who's watching us now maybe have a question, please feel free to put one in. I'm just scrolling through. I don't see any questions yet, but in any case, if there is no questions, maybe Charlotte, if you want to ask anything else, perhaps.
One last thing which I was interested in, but we'll make it quick. Did you have any goals for your business in the future?
So again, I'm not really great with numbers, to be honest. Like, I really need to be more number specific, but I would absolutely love to have more international students joining. I mean, I have a lot of people from UK. I have actually quite a few people from Germany and from Canada now, but I would love to like have students from Australia, more from America. I would love to like expand more. I mean, that's the whole reason why I also hired a social media assistant to help me out as well, to explore different regions. But I really want to share, you know, my passion and teach others from other countries how to do it too. I mean, that's the whole idea. I'm doing it in English as well, because obviously English is the most widely spoken language, and I would just love to explore regions that are not currently explored. I don't know for what reason I don't have students joining from specific areas, but I have quite a lot of people from Europe, like from different countries in Europe. But specifically, I think it's mostly UK, Germany, sort of like maybe a little bit of Spain, but not as much. So I would like really love to have people joining from different regions more. So goal for the year.
Yeah, no, a good goal to have. Yeah, that sounds good.
I think that's probably going to be my answer here. So I think we'll have to end, unfortunately, but it was amazing actually to meet you, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this, because you can't imagine how many people want to do it with me, and they're just too scared, and they never end up following.
No, I'd never done it, but I'm so glad that I did, because I'm a really it's a good opportunity.
And I can't wait. I'm going to post it now, and I will message you how you can do it as well. So
brilliant. Thank you very much.
okay, Charlotte, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.